Hi everyone, I'm Charlotte Scott. I am the coordinator of the Aotearoa Quilters 100 Days project this year, and I am really excited because it is just about to start. Registrations will be opening very shortly. In fact, they may even be open now, so you can head to the Aotearoa Quilters website and search for 100 Days project. It'll be under the activities tab, and you can register through there, and you'll get some fun emails about how to go from there. So I've just realized that I have horns because I have set myself up in front of my design wall and there's some antlers, but I think that's kind of funny, so I'm not going to change it. Okay, so I thought I would do a short video with some frequently asked questions about the 100 Days project, because verbal and visual information works better for some people than a whole screed of written information. So first up, what is a 100 Days project? So a 100 Days project is basically where you do one thing every day for 100 days, and in a creative sense that's usually a creative act. I think this started quite a few years ago with a guy called Michael, I think you pronounce the surname Beirut, and he was a professor, maybe a graphics design professor, I think, and he did it with his students. So they had to do 100 days of some sort of graphic design project and present it to the class at the end. 100 days project, do something every day for 100 days, and they came up with some really innovative projects and amazing ideas, and so he started repeating it with every year his students, and then his students started doing it on social media through Instagram, I think, to start with, and then it's kind of taken off worldwide. And if you search now on the web for 100 Days projects, you'll come up with like screeds of different websites and different projects and all sorts of things. So why should I do a 100 Days project? Why not? Because you want to, because you think it'll be fun, because you'd like to join in with a group of creatives and see if you can challenge yourself to do something every day for 100 days. It's a little bit of a creative push, I like to think of it. It shouldn't be something that you approach with trepidation and concern and fear. It should be something that you approach with fun and possibility and excitement, because there's no rules and there's no kickback if you don't complete it or you don't do it. It's a fun thing, but it can push you, and you can treat it as seriously as you want to. For me, it was a huge creative push to develop my skills and my ideas and my creative discipline, because that's something that, with little kids at home, well, they're not that little anymore, kids at home and things like that, getting into my studio, my sewing room every day was sometimes really difficult. So to develop that little habit where I had some me time for something that I wanted to do every day was really important. So I think that's a really good idea. Why shouldn't you do something for yourself every day, something that you're excited and interested in, and it's something purely for you? Because I think we often don't spend enough time on some things that we're doing just for ourselves. So what makes a good 100 Days project? This is a really big question that people ask me. I have no idea what to do. What should I do? What makes a good project? So something that is relatively quick, because there will be days when you literally have 5 minutes to do your thing that you want to do, and there will be days when you can spend an hour on it. So it's good to have something that is quick, but you could expand it and spend more time on it if you wanted to. Consider something portable, because you won't always be, except the coronavirus, you may be at home, but you won't always be at home. You may be traveling, or you may, so something that can be portable and done without a whole whack of gear, and something fun. Something that you're curious about, something that you want to get better at, something that you feel like you'd like to learn more about, something that, possibly something that is generative. So for example, if you wanted to improve your skills at sketching, get yourself a sketchbook for a brand new one, because new shiny things make us all excited. Get yourself a new sketchbook for the 100 Days Project, and then you'll come to get your pen on that paper every day and you'll be like, what do I draw? So maybe to start with, you get a jar and you fill it with 100 prompts of things to sketch. So every day you are sketching, you put your hand into the jar, you pull out a prompt, and you sketch whatever you've pulled out. Then you don't have to think too hard about what you're going to do. So I think I saw someone was pulling out tarot cards every day and doing a sketch or interpreting a tarot card, or so something generative might help you. Quick, portable, fun, generative, curious about, get better at. I'll show you a couple of my projects that I've done. Where have they disappeared to? So I did 100 days of, I don't know where my 100 days of faces has gone. That was my first one. That was, so I decided to play, because I wasn't very comfortable using faces in my artwork, I wasn't comfortable with drawing them. I decided to do 100 days of faces, and I drew, or I stitched, or I collaged, or I photocopied a face that I'd already drawn and I altered it, and that was really improved my skills and confidence with faces after 100 days. I had some really ugly ones as well, but but that's the whole thing. Then the next year I did 100 days of what I called it 100 days of scissors, and it was 100 days of paper cutting. So I got myself 2 sketchbooks, one with white pages and one with black pages, and I think that's got 60 pages and that's got 40 pages. So altogether they had 100 pages, so I knew I had to fill my 100 pages by the end of the project. And so I started, inspired by Matisse with his paper cutting. So there's my day 100. I started just cutting shapes from paper, and there's my day 2 of 100 and gluing them down. And there's my day 3 of 100. I like that one. And that's my day 7, so I must have done some in my black sketchbook. So by the end of it, let's have a look. Okay, so that's day 85. I was getting all a little bit fancy pants. And then that's day 86. So you'll see that those shapes there are the negatives from those cutouts. So I started getting interested in the negative and positive things. So it really did generate, I don't know what that was that fell out, some really interesting ideas for me to use in my quilts. Then I started using magazine papers to cut out, because why not? And oh look, there's antlers, and look, there's antlers in my quilt there. So things kind of generate ideas, and then I started getting sort of little compositions going, and all sorts of things happened. And I still use some of those ideas from my 100 days of scissors. I don't know what's in here. Oh yeah, see, all sorts of weird and wonderful things happened. So that hopefully will give you a few ideas to consider about making what makes a good 100 days project. And you can search on Instagram, hashtag 100 days project, or online, hashtag 100 days, and you can see what other people did, and that might generate something for you. This year, I'll show you one more project that I did. So then I did a project with the wonderful Lisa Call, who organised a 100 days project with her, I think her local gallery owner, and I did 100 days of fabric renovation. So I took my own hand-dyed fabric and I tried to change it up every day. I'd take a piece and I would do something else to it, surface design wise. And that was okay, but it wasn't very portable, and it wasn't often something that I could do in 5 minutes, because to get out your supplies and work on things like this takes often more than 5 minutes. So I didn't get 100 pieces done, but I did learn a lot while I was doing it, and yeah, it was another learning experience for me. So that's something to consider. That I bit off a bit more than I could chew with that particular project. Okay, so we've answered that question. Okay, so someone said to me, well, what if I don't like what I'm doing and I want to change my project halfway through? All power to you. It's your project. You can do what you like. There are no rules. You might find that, like me, you bit off more than you could chew, and you can see a way that you could alter your focus and make it more doable for the rest of the 100 days. That's okay. I recommend, if you're a little bit hesitant about the topic or project that you've decided to do, maybe give it a little bit of a practice run first and have a bit of a play and see if you could see yourself doing it for 100 days. People have talked about, well, should I be looking to aim to do a finished thing every day for 100 days, or should I work on a work in progress every day for 100 days? Totally up to you again. As you can see, I did a finished composition every day for 100 days when I was working on my paper cutting, but I could have done one massive collage and added it to it every day for 100 days. I remember a really cool project where someone did 100 days of drawing hands, because they didn't feel very comfortable drawing hands, but they got one big sheet of paper and they drew hands coming in every day, and by the end of it there were these 100 hands coming in, and it was really cool, and the parts added to the whole. This year what I'm planning to do is 100 days of lancewood, or horoika I think they're called in Te Reo, and I'm aiming to have a piece of fibre work, textile work, and a sketchbook, so I can take my sketchbook and work in it if I'm travelling, or if I'm away, or if I'm at work or something like that, and I'm not going to have time to work on my fibre piece or textile piece. And my textile piece, I'm aiming to have a long skinny piece of fabric that I can do some work on here, and then just add another little piece and add another little piece, and it will become like a long wall hanging that maybe even rolls up, and you can display it in different ways and things like that. And I'm going to draw, I'm going to stitch, I'm going to print, I'm going to paint, I'm going to explore the different shapes of different leaves, I'm going to explore what the trunk textures are like, I'm going to explore if there are any traditional uses for lancewood, all sorts of things. So it's quite a generative project with one set topic, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of working on a finished work, where my parts will add to my whole. I'm looking forward to seeing where that will go and whether I can make it work or not. So someone said, what if I miss a day? And I said, well, that's okay, because I missed plenty. So again, there's no rules, and you don't lose any brownie points, and no one will be slapping your wrist if you miss a day, and life gets in the way sometimes. And it's kind of like get back on that horse and, start riding again if you miss a day. That's cool. Do it again, start again tomorrow. Or if you miss 3 days and you're like, I don't know how to start again, well, maybe spend the next day making a plan of how you can start again. And that's where our support network is going to come in. So once you sign up with the Aotearoa Quilters page, once you register and pay your money, and you'll get a welcome email that says how to join the closed Facebook group that we're developing, and you have an album on the closed Facebook group where you share your photos and things. But we're aiming to have shared discussions and motivation stuff happening, and encouragement, and that's where you can say, I'm at a standstill, I don't know where to take this next, or I've run out of ideas, or what do you guys think, or help, just someone give me a kick in the bum to get going again, those sorts of things. So that's where a group comes in, because you've got accountability, because everybody's watching what you're doing to see what next beautiful work you're going to pop up the next day, and you've also got that boost and that support behind you as well. So if you miss a day, it's okay, you can make it up. And if you drop out entirely, it's okay. There's nothing riding on the fact that you have finished your project or not. But we would encourage you to finish your project because that's, that's part of the whole thing. So the last question I wrote was, how do I share? So going back to that Facebook group, the idea is that you'll set up an album, and every day you'll post your photo of whatever work you did that day to that album, and maybe with a short description or something like that. Now, I know not everybody is a big Facebook user, and someone said to me, well, can I share it on Instagram? And I said, absolutely, you can share your work wherever you like and however you like. We do encourage you to go onto Facebook and share it, but maybe you could do that once a week and share 7 photos all in one go. And then on Instagram you can share your picture daily. I've got a hashtag AQ100 with the numbers 100 days. So I'd encourage you to use that hashtag if you were sharing to Instagram, because then people can click that hashtag and find other people doing AQ 100 days projects. I'd also encourage you to name your own project. So for example, I think I had 100 days of scissors, and there weren't many other 100 days of scissors projects on Instagram. You would have to be a little bit careful, because if you did, for example, 100 days of drawing, there's probably heaps of projects called 100 days of drawing. So you might name it 100 days of Charlotte's drawings, or 100 days of Charlotte's sketchbook, or something like that, just to define it so you can find your own drawings easily. So you can share it on Instagram, you could share it on your own Facebook page, you could share it just in your own stitching group, but we really would encourage you to use the Aotearoa Quilters, I think it's going to be called Aotearoa Quilters 100 Days Project closed Facebook group, so that you get the benefits of the sharing and the accountability and the support from other Aotearoa Quilters members. So it'll be a closed Facebook group, so it will only be accessible if you have registered and paid your registration fees for the 100 Days project. No one else will be able to go on that page and into that group and see your work or share your work. So it's a safe, supportive environment. Okay, I think that's probably enough questions for now. If you've got more questions, post them in the comments below this video, and maybe I could do another video if need be, because I've been going for 18 minutes already and I'm getting a tickly throat and you're probably bored of listening to me. So check out the Aotearoa Quilters website, sign up and join me on the Facebook group, and you'll be getting weekly emails as well during the project. So we'll keep you on track, we'll keep you going, and I'm really excited to hear some of your project ideas, because that's always really fun to see what fantastic ideas people come up with and where they take it. Now there is also we're going to possibly have some Zoom meetings between members to during the project, to have some discussion and idea generation and support and things like that. And at the end of the project, people who are interested in exhibiting their work in some form or another will have the option to do that at the Festival of Quilts, Auckland Festival of Quilts, later this year. So keep that in the back of your mind too, that how you might possibly display your work, whether it just be a sketchbook that people can flick through, or my scroll could be on the wall and my sketchbook could hang next to it, or something like that. That exhibition possibility will develop as we go through the project. So have a wonderful day, everybody. I hope you're safe and healthy wherever you are, and you've got plenty of blue paper, and we'll catch up again soon. Ka kite.